Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of My Big Fat Junk Drawer. It's been a while. Mike is back with me today. We had a touch of the COVID, so that's still alive and well, folks.
Yeah, it was wonderful too.
Ugh, I got sick first. Then you got sick. We had to make Emma go to the other part of the house.
I got to take Paxlovid. Woo! Which made my my mouth taste like I was just constantly chomping on medication capsule.
Gross. It was all disgusting. So thank goodness that I recorded double duty with Alicia that last time because I needed to use that episode quicker than I thought I would.
Yes.
So thanks, Alicia, for coming in clutch.
Okay, so today I'm going to switch the tables on Amanda and go, Amanda, what do you have from your junk drawer today?
Well, as you may know, I'm cleaning the basement. It's always a process down here. Slowly but surely, I was going through some drawers and I found my collection of Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. This collection, I never kept the ones. Well, I do have some in my trunk of fun, I should say. Not the whole amount that I had growing up, but actually this collection came from you because you bought me a whole box at some con one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When we went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right, at Pittsburgh. So I was going through some of the better ones, like Decapitated Hetty.
Nice.
Shorned Sean.
Aww.
Yeah, that's what I collected when I was a kid. Was garbage.
Of all things. I think Emma bought you some too.
Yes.
For one Christmas. She was like 3 and she's like, Mommy likes these. And then that was that.
It was funny because you would think my mom would be grossed out or not allow me to have such things, but she was never like that. My dad wasn't either. They were just like, I guess if that's what you want to get.
They weren't gross. They were just silly.
Well, they were kind of
Remember
gross.
they made a movie?
Yeah, I never saw that because I thought it was dumb.
I think it had Sean Astin's brother in it.
Mackenzie?
Yeah. Is that his name?
Yes.
Mac?
Yes.
Nice.
Mackenzie Astin was the one in the Goonies.
No, Sean Astin was the one in the Goonies.
No, wasn't it Mackenzie Astin?
No.
Oh, I think you're right. It was Sean Astin.
Yeah,
Man,
it was.
give back my Gen X card.
I know, weirdo.
Wow, not a good start.
I don't think Mackenzie's been in much.
Did you collect anything other than baseball cards? Anything fun? Like
when I was a kid, I did Legos when I was really young. Then I think I collected like G.I. Joes and Star Wars stuff, which is like everybody that was my age. I think that lasted for quite some time. My brother was into the He-Man stuff, but we would use his Castle Grayskull to fight our G.I. Joe wars.
I was just going to say, did you have the Castle Grayskull?
Yeah, Scott did.
I wanted it, and I didn't even like He-Man. I wanted that Castle Grayskull.
Scott even had the He-Man one where you punch the guy in the chest and his chest changes because it gets squashed. Yeah, oh yeah, it was
nice.
Stupid plastic.
I was busy with my strawberry shortcakes.
They're in the, I don't think my dad threw any of that shit out either. I think it's in the house somewhere.
You're probably going to get a big box someday of all this.
I think what we'll end up doing is being smart about it and then just going, you know what? We're just going to find some toy dealer to lowball us on all of it.
Good idea.
Better than trying to trek it all 2,000 miles.
Yeah, I think you need to just sell it there.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's plenty of toy dealers everywhere you go. They're all broke. They all have musty basements and dirty floors and whatever store they may have, even if they have stores any longer, because most people just like internet, eBay, Amazon store.
I just bought something from eBay yesterday.
You did?
Another Lego set.
We went to a Lego store and we're like, good, we're going to get out of here with less than $40. And Amanda saw a set that she wanted, was on eBay in the store, and purchased it in the store from somebody else.
So let's just straighten this out. This is one of those used Lego stores called Bricks and Minifigs, isn't it? Or something like that. They're popping up around town, but ironically, none of them are connected. So if you join a loyalty program with one store, you have to join a loyalty program for the other one you go to because they're not connected, which weirds me out.
Or you just don't go to the other ones.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Isn't the other one like really?
It's in Hilliard.
Yeah, it was kind of far.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as the one in.
They didn't have as much stuff. It looked like they were just unpacking the day we went there.
Yeah, they were just popping up.
The one we went to yesterday, that guy was talking about how like someone just came in and dumped a bunch of Legos. And if you saw in the corner, there was like a busted, like one of those big Star Wars ships, the Star Destroyers.
Oh,
there
yeah.
was a massive one with like the panels on the top just pulled off. Someone just came in and just like, take it all.
Well, while you
$50.
were milling about in the big tray to try to find individual pieces, I walked toward the back in that back wall area past the birthday party. And around the corner were just big tubs and tubs and tubs of loose Lego.
That's what those guys were talking about. They were talking about how someone just came in with like a massive amount.
Now, they need one of those sorters that I want. That I found online that people build that are like $700 or $800 that sift the Legos into size.
Oh,
they need that.
I don't think they care.
I don't think so either.
I think that's like every other toy dealer. They're just happy to go through this stuff and put it together because that was what their plan was in the first place. Like, I'm making money doing what I love to do.
Yeah, I guess. But my thing was I've purchased, not put together yet, because honestly, I need some space when I put it together because it seems big to me. Like, I think I'm going to need a bigger shelf for it. The A-frame cabin, which is very cute. It's one of those Lego ideas, which means some dude from the Midwest probably conceived the idea and it got passed by Lego, and that's how that happens. But it's super cute, and I'm going to put it together. But yesterday, when we were in that store, there was a retired set called some outdoor adventure set, and it has all these minifigs, but it's got like a little campfire and a tent, and it goes along with the scene of this A-frame cabin.
Canoes.
So that's what I bought it. Yeah.
Now
it's
you
got
just
a
need
boat.
now you're just going to need like a blue brick plate to put underneath it so that they could look like they're trolling around on the water.
Yeah. So it purposely goes with that. So I'll just make a little scene with that.
Your camping land.
Mm-hmm.
Camping land.
It's cute. Well, I noticed one of the minifig women has a clipboard, so it reminds me of Girl Scout days. Yelling and filling out forms.
Girls. It had the guy with the selfie stick.
I know. It's so cute.
Of all the times I've ever seen selfie sticks, I've never seen men with those.
And it had an eagle with a fish in its claw. It's like, this is mine. I'm going to try to put them in the trees that come with the count. Yeah. It's going to be a whole thing.
I'm going to start getting into Lego photography.
Oh, yeah. You're going to... What's your idea? Because you told me this yesterday.
Oh, the one was I got a bunch of little Lego minifigures that look like the doors. And I'm going to put like doors around them and take a picture of it and look like the scene from the movie The Doors. Mm-hmm. And then I'll put my own like backdrop in the background or something like that. So it'll look like they're on the Ed Sullivan Show. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh my God.
If you look at those Lego photography sites, like everyone puts their Legos like out in the desert. Or I'm going to do all Legos for my Lego photography.
You need to recreate that famous Jim Morrison poster with the chest of him just going.
You can't because you can't get the arms out.
Well, you could redo it somehow. We need to figure that out because that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to put him in chains and hang him from the wall.
Oh, God.
Oh, and then I had the other one where I had those guys with the rolled down beanie caps so that they look like they're robbing a Lego store.
You have to do the action shot with them running.
Yeah. And I got like a whole bunch of those little black tiles, so it looks like they're stealing like the
adult Lego sets.
They're leaving the children's ones behind, but they're taking all the adult ones, which I thought was hilarious. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Oh my gosh.
Between that and my Plego sets that I put together, my fake Legos are Flego sets.
Legos.
Of the little red truck and the family truckster from Vacation. And I got a A-Team van.
Yeah, and just so you know, I had to wrestle the van sticker, the famous red sticker away from the dog. So you better take it.
It was on the table.
Yeah, and she climbed up there and snatched it. So yeah, because you need that sticker. It's kind of imperative on the A-Team van.
Or I could paint it, but then I asked people on a Lego Facebook page, do you paint your Legos? And oh my gosh, the amount of people going, what the fuck? This is sacrilege. You're crazy. Why would you ruin your Legos like that? Realistically, I was just thinking of like weathering things and thinking it'd look a little bit cooler if it didn't look brand new, but look kind of beat up. But these people went off. And then finally someone just says, you guys need to stop. Some people do paint their Legos. A lot of people, if they said they paint them at all, they're just painting over logos or stickers that they can't get off. But for the most part, I thought it was really hilarious. They're like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like I did something wrong.
I have discovered that Lego folks are quite passionate about their Lego sets.
I know. That's why there's a whole extra set where people design their own Lego set. And then Lego will decide if they make them or not. And then they have like a practice run. Yeah, and then they have like a practice run, and then that practice run or that sales run is like that's the only time.
Yeah, and they come in. I've seen them. They come in special like white boxes with the stuff. Yeah, there's a limited run coming up of a camper that again goes with my A-frame thing that I'm watching for, because you can't put a pre-order in until fall. I think September was when they said.
Did you say it takes a year before you get it?
It could take 6 months to a year to get it.
Woo!
There are people that are just now getting a set from the series they bought like last year.
Yeah, from series 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like on series 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But some of these sets are incredible. Yeah. There's one, it's a whole railroad, like a big high.
Oh, yeah. So it goes over a canyon.
Bridge,
or a valley. Yeah,
it's
I saw that.
Insane. Some of them are really neat.
And that one train station that looks like it's massive. I saw a guy that had like 7 of them. Well, that's the whole other thing is the resellers.
Highly collectible.
I'm going to buy these crazy ones that no one can get their hands on. And then I'm going to jack up the price.
Yeah.
I don't see any fault in that, but it is disappointing if you're someone who wanted it. But
yeah, it's very limited runs. So yeah, now I've just told the 2 people that listen to this that they can get Legos.
I know, huh? And one of them was a Lego subscriber.
I know. Well, he already knows.
I'm sure. That'd be funny if he didn't.
I'm sure he does.
Now we just need shelf space. I think we're just going to knock out that wall behind you and then make them shelves.
Yeah, okay. So, what else did we do this weekend? Oh, we drove around a little bit yesterday. You were disappointed, though, because 2 things that you wanted to do did not happen.
That's right.
One of which you got the date wrong of something that you wanted to go to. It's not this weekend.
Next weekend.
It's next weekend.
And the other one is the M&M CD is not available on CD yet, or it's not going to be on CD. I don't know, but the record store actually said they couldn't even order it.
Yeah.
We drove all the way to a record store because you can't find CDs or anything like that anymore. I'm not a big fan of like downloading the content onto my iTunes. I know that's prehistoric, but put them on my iTunes and then put it on a CD, then carry it in my car. But I do it if it's something that I found interesting, and that's the only way to get it. All the other M&M CDs, it seems like there wasn't CDs; they just were final releases.
So I'm sorry about that, but we did take a spin over to Katzinger's. Yum for lunch.
I know. We talked about it for a couple times. We've driven past it and we just never went.
Delicious.
It was good.
It's one of the best places in Columbus.
And I just had a simple turkey breast sandwich.
Best turkey sandwich. The tomato, you could tell, was a fresh tomato. It was dark red. It was beautiful.
So Katzinger's Deli, if you would like to sponsor our show, we will talk about your sandwiches for free sandwiches.
Or go in there and say, hey, I heard about you on a podcast. See what they say. And then tell them. Tell them you heard it here on my big fat junk drawer.
Yeah. The 6 people can go into Katzinger's and go, is it Katzingers?
Katzingers.
Katzingers, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like cat zingers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, zingers.
Yes. Strawberry zingers.
Tangent.
Then for dessert, I made a swing past and I don't know if I'm saying this right for my whole life. I think it's Crema, the Crema Nut Company. When I was little, I called it Crema because I associated it with creamy peanut butter.
It was funny when you said that we were going there. I was like, we're going to a creamy nut place? What?
No, well, they have nuts and they make their own peanut butter. It's delish.
There's their own nut butter.
In all the months except, I think, November and December, you can't get this then because they're busy doing holiday orders and nut bags.
I don't know. There wasn't anyone in there, so.
But, well, at the holiday season, they're very busy. You can get fancy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or you can get milkshakes. And yesterday I had, and I'm going to say, if you don't get something with peanut in it, I mean, if you're allergic, you probably won't even go inside that store because it's very nut heavy since it's a nut company. But you have to try something peanut buttery. I tried the spicy peanut milkshake. Delicious.
Was it sriracha in the spicy?
I don't know what's in it because I didn't read the back of the spicy peanut butter jar. Because I almost got it, but I didn't know if I was going to like it, so I tried it in the milkshake. Delicious. It's got a kick to it, but I highly recommend the spicy peanut milkshake from the Crema Nut Company.
So, Crema Nut Company, again, we would certainly like to have you sponsor our podcast. or at least Amanda's podcast, at any time. You can even have like people that work there or the owner come in and discuss all your products, especially around Christmas time. They already had like Christmas pretzels already done.
Yeah.
They had the white chocolate pretzels with the red striping on it.
I think that was 4th of July pretzels. Red, white, and pretzel.
Well, there's no blue.
I don't know. I just assumed it was a 4th of July pretzel.
It could be. Makes more sense than Christmas in July. Well,
yeah.
Then there's Christmas in July promotions that I keep seeing all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, which reminds me of another thing we did.
What?
Hallmark.
Oh, yeah. Goodness. We did that on Friday, luckily.
So last year, Hallmark came out with a Haunted Mansion series of ornaments. And it's that part of that magical series. And I didn't really know how magical it was until so last year they put out the Haunted Mansion itself, which is supposed to be a tree topper, actually. It's supposed to fit on top of your tree. And they came out with Madame Leota, the lady inside the crystal ball, if you're not familiar. And they came out with Victor Geist, the organ player. If you don't know the Disney ride, you're kind of lost, but it's wonderful. And then who else came out last year? Oh, one of the first scenes on the ride is the guy in the coffin trying to get out. He's like, let me out of here. Let me out of here. So they released these 3 ornaments. And you had to get a special cord because they're all connected. Apparently, from starting last year, for 3 years straight, they're releasing these Haunted Mansion ornaments. At the end, by the time we're finished, it will play the entire Haunted Mansion ride.
Oh, Christ.
We're almost halfway through because I have those 3. Yesterday, I bought Constance Hatchaway, the bride in the attic. And then also what came out yesterday was the caretaker and his skinny dog. When you come outside around the graveyard, he's standing there with his dog. So they came out yesterday. And then in October, all the singing bust statues from out in the graveyard come out. And then next year, the last 2 come out. But when you play them, when you hook them all up together, it plays the entire ride sequence in the voice of the Haunted Mansion. I think Paul Frees did that ride. So yeah.
I would have rather been Paul Lind.
Well, that would have been funny.
Wow, Charlotte.
Paul Frees is the voice of Disney. So yeah. Mike and Emma are super thrilled when I turn it on because it's almost 10 minutes.
At this point.
But you have to beat down the door at Hallmark when they have their ornament sale. They do it every July. It's when they release their ornaments. And if you're not a paying rewards member, you have to wait your turn because those people go first. So I got an email that said at 5:00 on Friday night from 5 to 9, my Hallmark store could go in and get them.
Normies can come in.
Yeah, the normies can come in.
Even though the Hallmark store is open till 8:00.
So we ran in there at 4:55 and the lady in there when we came in said, oh, hi, you can start buying things at 5:00. I was like, yes, I just got the email. And we were looking around and I went and picked them up off the shelf because I was like, no one's taking these from me. And then all of a sudden, all these older ladies started running in the store going, it's 5:00. Can I buy? Can I buy? So we looked around for a minute and we went to check out. And the girl was like, oh, are you a part of the keepsake ornament club? And I was like, no. She's like, oh, you can't buy these until tomorrow. I'm like, oh, no. I just got
you straight out ripped
Karen.
Out your phone.
Yeah, I had my phone out. I'm like, I just got this email a couple hours ago that we could come in at 5 and buy these.
You were straight up like, do your eyes work? Do you have glasses on?
I did not
Look
say
at this.
that.
It says 5:00.
That is not what I said.
And then
but I was feeling it in my soul.
The best part about that is another customer came in as we were walking out and she goes, I heard that you could buy these after 5 if you're not. I heard from the person that's standing right next to you as she walks out the door.
So just in case, I hightailed it out with my ornaments and sped off just in case they were going to come and take them out of my hand. But that ornament sale is no joke. And especially the Haunted Mansion stuff. I'm telling you, those people are crazy, myself included. My mom used to buy us every year at Christmas time an ornament, a Hallmark ornament. And they are really cool to have. She would pick one that kind of was a theme for the year or something we had done. And they're all dated on the bottom. And that's why people go crazy for them, because they're dated. And they usually have really cool themes and stuff. So my whole Christmas tree has all those Hallmark ornaments, but I've never been one to look for sets of things because they're big on sets. Like they'll have different things every year. But man, when that Haunted Mansion set came out, I was all over it because I love the Haunted Mansion.
And that's going to go for Halloween, not Christmas.
Yes, I put it up for Halloween. Yeah, and I actually got on Amazon last year, I got a creepy tree for Halloween. And I went a step further. I went all out because I love the Haunted Mansion so much. On Etsy, I found this dude who makes 3D printed the tombstones from the ride queue. And I got every single one. It's like a set of 13. As you're going through the ride, it's like, here lies Fred, and a rock fell on his head or whatever. Corny rhymes. But I got all of those. I found the stretching portraits that and they hang on the tree. And then I put the mansion and all the other pieces around it in order of how the ride goes because they light up and all. So it's a whole thing.
Plus there's a Haunted Mansion like mini poster upstairs.
Yeah, I love Haunted Mansion. Thank you, Sean, for the Haunted Mansion things.
Oh, so again, Disney, Hallmark, and Lego. You've seen we spent like the first 20 minutes talking about your products, and we're running out of disposable income. So if you could please just contact us so we can continue to buy your stuff.
Yeah, I'm a huge Haunted Mansion fan. So,
although it seems like Hallmark, once they're done with that set, you'll be done with them.
Yeah, until they discover, this is kind of lucrative for us. These Disney folks are crazy.
Well, but they have all the other Disney stuff too.
And I wonder what they would do next. You could probably do Big Thunder Mountain.
Is that even a ride anymore?
Yes, it's a ride. What are you talking about? You're crazy.
While they're at it, why don't they just have the teacups from the Mad Hatter's party that I know is not in the parks any longer?
The teacups are in the park.
It wasn't in the Florida park.
Yeah, we just walked around it. It was across from the cars in Tomorrowland. It's right across.
Because we took that little
they were there.
Baby roller coaster that was like that.
They were there. The cups are there. Still spinning.
Yeah, run out of room. How did they not run out of room?
Because Florida has pretty much
that's right.
Unlimited land.
They just throw cement on top of the swamps and then a kid gets eaten.
Cement in the alligators. Yeah. That's all they do it.
And then a kid gets chomped.
Oh, yeah. That was sad. It was horrifying. I can't imagine. That's why you stay off the beaches there. They're just for show.
I know.
You're not supposed to go into the sand.
But they have those bungalow things that are on the water with the clear water.
You know, alligators can climb like a 6-foot fence, too.
Yeah, because they're 6 feet
and
tall.
Their little arms are like, Nyeh.
I know. They're like the last dinosaur.
They're creepy looking. I've seen videos of them climbing fences. I'm like, oh, they're so cute from afar until you get up close.
That's why you get a bat.
Ugh. No thanks.
I always found it funny that people wrestle those things. But it's not really wrestling as it is so much as like
a murder log.
I know. Isn't that what they're called?
American murder log. Mm-hmm.
It's its own horror story.
So yeah, we've collected things this weekend. So
now we're out of money.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Now it's time for a garage sale.
Oh yeah, and we bought you a computer.
Well, we didn't have to talk about that. That's just kind of a utility because my other computer is on its very last legs.
I know. But Dell.
And I can't use my Cricut.
But Dell.
I know.
Come on in with some funds because we need another computer.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Man, not fun. Not fun at all. And we just bought a dryer.
I know. Huh?
Which I love, by the way.
Of all things. I love my dryer.
I've never loved an appliance more than that new dryer because, man, that was annoying. Man, oh man. So what else is...
Nothing else is new because we discussed it all. You had something you wanted to discuss.
I have a lot of complaints.
Such is life. It's like my comment yesterday about Inside Out 3. Are they just going to have joy in a hospital bed while anger and anxiety take over the asylum? And then no one has time for sadness. No one has time for sadness.
And then
they just keep pushing her
nostalgia
aside.
will really come out of the closet, her little area.
Yeah.
I remember when she was cute.
I remember a time.
Oh, nostalgia.
Oh, and there'll be no.
That's why I buy all this crap. See, nostalgia. Ugh.
And the damn Inside Out movies, Joy is always lost anyway.
I know.
Now they just kill her.
Poor Joy. They almost killed her in this one.
I know. Well, now she'll just be in a hospital bed and people will visit her when they can.
She was very defeated.
Sadness will visit her just because sadness and nostalgia will visit her. I remember when you were a child.
Speaking of nostalgia, we've been going down going back to your little Flago set, we've been watching the A-Team recently. And I should go on and say that Emma has watched it with us.
I know.
It's
been
quite
enjoying it.
frankly one of the only shows of our generation that she likes. She does like Bewitched. She would watch that. And she has watched Three's Company with me.
And you guys have we watched all of Mork and Mindy, and we watched.
Oh, that's true.
And you guys watched The Facts of Life and Silver Spoons.
I guess we have watched
and Different Strokes.
But she could actually pick out, because usually when we have it on, she's not paying attention because she's doing something else. But she pointed out the other day, she's like, oh, that's the episode where they went to bust up the unions.
But you said, aren't they always busting up a union? And that the whole thing is like there's a farmer that's getting ripped off or a union that is coming in and the rich people don't want the union. Wow. Nothing's changed.
I forgot how enjoyable the A-Team was. I love that show. I watch it every week.
Action television shows.
Yeah.
That was a good time though. They had like that in Miami Vice.
I watched Simon
Fall
and Simon.
Fall Guy.
Yeah, Fall Guy.
Which one of those was first?
I don't
Simon
even
and Simon.
know.
That seems like the oldest.
They all spramped up at the same time.
They're all the same guy, Stephen Bochco. He does them all.
Yeah.
Where he throws that piece of paper and doo, 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 doo.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, they're all the same people.
But yeah, he did all those. But I also liked The Equalizer too back then.
I never saw that one.
Oh, I loved it.
There was always like shows like that though. There was like
Mhm.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
It was like all the action shows were huge back then.
They're all like 9.
And then now it's all medical shows. Well, there's
Mm.
still cop shows. But yeah, it's
That's
all
'cause all the-
law and medical.
That's because all the action shows are on cable. All the Breaking Bads. And
It's just funny how things go in cycles like that. Like action was a big thing in the 80s. Like, I don't know why.
And then they remake those into movies that don't do well.
But they weren't thinking of that back then.
No, now they are.
Of course, then you'd have on the old network, CBS, you would have Murder, She Wrote, which my mom was adamant that we watched every Sunday.
And she still watches it.
Oh, yeah.
Or shows just like it.
She gets Emma into Dateline. Yeah. She's really on it when someone dies mysteriously.
I think your mom watches it going, I remember this in the news.
Yeah, kind of. She's real on top of it with her mysteries. Very much so.
Unbelievable.
I know. Let's see. What else? Oh, I've gotten into something. I don't know if you know this. I was telling my mom and my sister the other day on Facebook, partly because the last couple times I talked to Alicia, she mentioned that she was going to go to Gettysburg this summer or this fall with her husband, Troy. And I found on Facebook, they have some real interesting groups on Facebook. I'm a Gen X group. And now I've joined the Gettysburg Ghost Photo Group, where people post their ghost sighting pictures.
Oh my gosh.
There are some creepy pictures on that site. Now, some of them are just shrubs. I'll tell you that right now. I'm like, this is nothing. This is a shrub that looks like a face.
These people are using Photoshop for all the wrong reasons. You just take a static photo of like yourself on Facebook, and then you take another photo at the exact same spot with all the stuff going on in the background, and then you just kind of lightly pull yourself out of the one. So it looks like you're a ghost.
Some of these I think are real. I'm kind of
But they're doing it all wrong. They need to do that just to add to the lore. Show up in your Civil War outfit that you already have anyway, because that's why you're going to Gettysburg in the first place, is because you're either for the North or the South. It's not about history anymore. Everyone just wants to take a photo anyway. So why not add to the mystery?
Some of
Make
these
it up.
folks, I'm pretty sure, don't know how to use Photoshop because they barely know how to take a picture.
Well, there is that. I love the shaky handy cam photos. Like
a lot of shaky. And a lot of people with orbs, which you're familiar with because
what's an orb?
Emma makes us watch all the Ghost Adventure shows.
Oh, yeah.
Where the creepy orb flies in.
Oh, yeah, just like a little, yeah.
It's like a dust particle.
So you just get like one of those cat sensor things and shoot it right across real quick. That's all those guys do. Or the stick man that is like inhabiting their body for a second. Oh God. Come on, that's a program. That is.
But you will watch it.
Yeah, because
Why?
I think it's funny. It's hilarious. It is hilarious to watch these guys who have seen ghosts everywhere they go act scared. Like,
because they are.
They shouldn't be by now.
Oh, come on. There's some creepy stuff out there.
Oh my gosh, if I bumped into the same firefighter every single day, I wouldn't be afraid of firefighters any longer. I'd be like, oh, that's just Tom. These guys run into ghosts every day, and somehow they're frightened. Oh, I just felt a chill down my back. It's called the air conditioner.
No, I don't think so. I'm not convinced. I mean, some of it, yeah, can be debunked, but
they flat out like interview people who have worked there for years. I used to see this guy, blah, blah, blah. Then why do you still work there?
That's true. I wouldn't. The first time I'd be like, I'm out.
Why do you still work there? It's threatened my life. Then leave. I mean, come on. We used to watch horror movies in the 80s. This is a beautiful house, honey. Look at this. This is great. Get out. Sorry, we can't stay.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. What are you doing?
That's true.
I'm going to continue to work here. There's a gazillion jobs out there. Some of them probably pay better for not having any ghosts in the building.
I'd take a pay cut to get out.
I know. Just like, it's like, oh my gosh, I hear this woman clanking stuff down the halls almost every night. Go.
Get out. Get out.
You know, you work in a hotel. There's another hotel job just down the street. Usually hotels, there's a lot of them in the same area.
Pick a newer one that was just built last year.
Pick one built over the top of an Indian burial ground.
No, that's terrible.
Why? They're all buried.
No. Never do that. That's just asking for it.
I know the thing of it is terrible, but they're buried them all. I saw Poltergeist when I was a kid, and all the bones came up from the pool.
Yeah, and that movie set was a disaster.
Well,
they were all. That little girl died
in the third one. Yeah, from a helicopter crash.
Yeah,
Who's shooting a helicopter?
That movie was kind of.
I know.
Ick.
I like the girl getting sucked into the TV.
It was just weird.
No, Carrie Ann, don't go into the light. Carrie Ann, no,
terrible.
No. The TV, they're here. Sweet. Move. Get out.
You're not wrong.
The Amityville Horror, go. Beetlejuice in the attic, split. The hell you doing? You don't invite people over so they can do a dance at the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Leave.
Your chairs start stacking themselves.
Go. Yeah, go.
That's a sign.
You don't sit there and go, this is a phenomenon. Yeah, no shit. Way to be attentive. Wow, that's odd. Call your daughter in. Did you do this? No, Daddy, I didn't. Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Leave the chairs.
Yeah.
We'll just buy more.
Yeah.
When we can afford them. Because no one's going to buy the house.
No one's going to buy this house.
They come in, see the chairs and tables stacked on each other.
Nope. Mm-mm.
You know, it'd be great is when you bring the buyer in and all the chairs are nice and right underneath the table and everything like that, all set up.
Then hurry up and sign and have your closing because you don't want any part of it.
You get the Otho guy to come in and start painting mauve on the walls, and then Beetlejuice will come. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Boy, it's just a nostalgic day here at the podcast. Speaking of nostalgia, I have a real gripe. And I've had a gripe.
Nostalgia brings the gripes.
It does, because I have opinions about the 80s and growing up. This has been hanging over me for 2 weeks. I was going to talk about it sooner, but old COVID showed its head, so I didn't get a chance. So it's kind of old news. But, Andrew McCarthy came out with his documentary, kind of based on his book, Brad. So it was about the Brat Pack, right?
Sure.
I watched it. I know you didn't, but I did.
I don't know these people.
Here's my gripe. And it goes back to that Gen X group that I'm in on Facebook.
You need to lay off the groups.
They're fun, though. Anyway, he does this documentary, basically how none of them liked that moniker. They all hated it, right? Because people thought they were bitchy and whiny and all this shit. They hated it. And they hated it so much that after a point, they stopped working together. Like they would not work with any of them again And they didn't even talk to each other for years. So that's Andrew McCarthy's whole thing about this, going to talk with all of them about their experience and how they felt. My gripe comes in with all these people from our generation that said they had no idea that they felt that way. I'm sorry. And maybe I was a weird kid because I used to watch things like Phil Donahue and the Today Show when I was younger. So I don't know. But I always thought it was obvious that they hated it because they were interviewed time and time again when they were at the height of their hotness. People would have them on their shows all the time, and they would ask them the same questions about the same shit, kind of like they do now, and ask them, about being in the Brat Pack and all that stuff. And they always said they hated it. What are you people talking about? Where were you when you were younger? Because every person was like, I don't understand. I always thought it was cool to be in the Brat Pack. I'm like, Jesus, they hated it.
They got called brats.
I know. They hated it. They couldn't find jobs because producers would be like, oh, no, I don't want them. That's too fluff. I don't want that. Where were they? What were they thinking?
Rob Lowe had no problems.
And he had
That's because he doesn't eat carbs. He hasn't had a carb since he was 13.
He had the best attitude about it, too. He's like, I built this life from it. He's like, I'm cool with it.
I know, exactly.
Well, he turned Andrew McCarthy around because Andrew had the biggest problem with it. And another thing that annoyed me about these people saying, they talked about Andrew McCarthy not having a great career. The guy directed Orange is the New Black. He directs stuff all the time. Like, his name is attached to all kinds of shit. So he's working.
That's not what happens when
broke.
That's what happens when these people become 40 is they start directing.
Right.
Because,
they go behind the scenes.
Yeah.
If they're worth their salt, that's what they do.
If they paid attention on set, they could direct a television show. Henry Winkler directed like Even Stevens and yeah, those guys did. That's what they do. And then they get the older man parts. And I was like, oh, I miss Henry Winkler. Oh, I miss Andrew McCarthy.
Right.
Andrew McCarthy was on like that show Good Girls. He was like the bad guy on it.
He's done some guest spots, but he has been directing hardcore for the last 10, 15
I think the only one that hasn't had a career, and I think it's by choice, is Emilio Estevez. Molly Ringwald has had some weird ones. Yeah.
He was the most bitter one of the whole thing. He almost didn't want to talk to him, but he's like, you called, and you wanted to talk to me directly. Yeah. But Rob Lowe and Demi Moore were two that had the most positive outlook from it.
And Demi Moore doesn't do much. Like, I think it's more by choice than anything else. I think they have their money and then they don't want to continue to be interviewed like they're members of the Brat Pack. So they just kind of disappear on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, Emilio Estevez has a nice house in Malibu, so I don't think he's hurting.
The only one that will not, three of them. No. Ali Sheedy was on it.
Oh, okay.
Because she had a great affinity for all of them. She was like the cute one and was like, I just loved all of them. Molly Ringwald did not do it. She will not talk about it.
She's horrible. She's an awful person.
And Anthony Michael Hall will not talk about it. He didn't want any part of it.
That's funny. The stuff
Judd
that I read
Nelson
about it is they said that they avoided him.
Yeah.
And then he said he never felt like he was part of it.
Those three.
Oh, Judd Nelson doesn't want to do anything.
But
that guy lives in Venice. And
yeah. So, but yeah, it was interesting. But it was surprising to me that people don't remember that they did not like it. They hated it.
Well, they're called brats. That's the start right there. They're called brats.
So basically, they just split up, went their separate ways, and didn't speak to each other again.
Yeah, if you're pushing 30 and you're still being called a brat, I think that's time to go.
But I guess after that documentary, Andrew McCarthy has come around, and he's like, basically, he figured out that what they meant to us was that they were like an avatar for our youth. And that's when you watch those movies, it's basically just old nostalgia coming out of her closet, and I remember when.
Little old lady.
But it bugged me. I was so annoyed by it. I didn't get into the comments because I can't argue online. First of all, it takes too long to type something, and I get annoyed that I have to type it all out and argue. And yeah, people don't listen anyway. You can't change people's minds. So it is what it is.
And after some point, like after they talk about it and they're like, I didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. And then if they don't go off into something that sounds positive, they just sound like they're bitching.
Yeah.
And that's got to be hard. And maybe that's why Anthony Michael Hall and Molly Ringwald and them didn't want to do it. I mean, Judd Nelson wants nothing to do with any of that stuff.
No.
Like, he doesn't even try to act. As weird as it sounds, him and Emilio Estevez only come out and do movies or a television show or something like that when it seems like they have a bill to pay that they don't have the money for. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know their personal lives, but Emilio Estevez directed a movie about JFK. Had some like younger people in it at the time. I think, gosh, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah. And Emilio Estevez is not hurting for money either because those Mighty Ducks movies made a killing. Right.
Well, and who he is, I mean, he's got some inheritance coming.
Yeah, but I don't think they count on that for right now. They're like, I'm going to just spend, then Dad's going to die, and then I'll have more money to spend.
No, but I mean, he still gets free shit. Let's just say.
Yeah.
He's that level.
I mean, you see Emilio Estevez in something every once in a while, you're like, oh my gosh, is he still alive? It's kind of a sad way to look at it, but that's like, they're like, I haven't seen that guy in things for years. Like, you're going to see Emilio Estevez, like, when he's older and looks like an older statesman, you'll probably see him in a bunch of stuff like you saw his dad for a short time. The West Wing was like on for like 10 years.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that was on for a long time.
Yeah.
Speaking of celebrities, my God, it's been Celebrity Death Week. Shelley Duvall, Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons, and Shannon Doherty.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that nuts? I love Shannon Doherty's podcast the past, I don't know, maybe year plus that she's been doing that podcast. It was amazing because she was bringing on people that she used to work with because she had that thing hanging over her head where she was hard to work with and a bitch and all this stuff. Well, she started bringing on co-stars and they would hash out like what really went down, what you never knew, what she was dealing with in her life at the time. She was super, super brave and a warrior and charmed. I loved that show so much. It was one of my favorite shows. So she was pretty great. I was sad to see that she went. Also, Richard Simmons was pretty funny. I used to watch him when I was little, too. I watched a lot of weird things when I was a kid.
Nice.
that other kids probably didn't. But when I was homesick, I would watch the soaps. I would watch Richard Simmons, all that stuff. But yeah, I was sad to see.
Were you sweating to the oldies?
No, I never sweat to the oldies.
Everyone just watched those shows. They didn't actually do them.
He had a talk show, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. It was like a talk/exercise segment. Mm-hmm. And it was always funny when he was on the Dave Letterman show. Dave would give him a lot of shit, but he liked Richard Simmons. So Pauly Shore was trying to do a documentary, or not a documentary, but a biopic about Richard Simmons. Richard wasn't having it. That was towards the end because I started following Richard Simmons, and then Pauly Shore would creep up into my Instagram feed, and they were trying to get a movie made, and Richard was not on board. So
stepping back here, the last thing that Emilio Estevez did was this movie called The Public in 2018. And then the movie that I thought that he directed wasn't about JFK, it was about Bobby Kennedy. That was back in 2006. But he has a great quote right on his IMDb page. It actually says, "What's the level of compromise for making that kind of money? How far do I have to sell my soul? What's the price of all that? I don't know if I want to make those kind of compromises anymore."
Well, and that whole Brat Pack thing, it's not his fault, but the writer of that article came to a dinner with Emilio and I forget who else was there. And it was supposed to be focused on Emilio Estevez, and he kind of made it sound like it was going to be this great piece on his acting career and all this. And he kind of turned the tables on Emilio Estevez. I think he kind of took advantage of his naivete. And that's how he went and wrote this article, called him the Brat Pack, and that's where it stuck. And actually, Andrew McCarthy interviewed that guy, that writer of the article. Yeah. He's not sorry. He's kind of still
Oh, yeah. I remember this, too. Judd Nelson's last movie was actually called South of Hope Street in 2024, and then a movie called Dante's Hotel in 2023, and I saw that. Most Dangerous Game in 2022 I saw.
Was that on Netflix or something?
No, they're just releases. I don't know how they were. I probably saw it on Netflix.
It was probably, I'm sure it was streaming because it's not like theatrical grade stuff.
Maybe it is. Well, Judd Nelson was on Empire.
Oh, yeah.
So... But the thing I remember him from is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the cop punch a breach into his bulbous ass. And he was in the remake of the Billionaire Boys Club. There's one I didn't think he was in. Transformers. Oh, it was a voiceover. TV miniseries.
You know, that's how a lot of people get away from being typecast for a while. They kind of escape into voice acting, so you don't see them.
Yeah, you just hear him.
I mean, Mark Hamill did that, really, didn't he?
Yeah, he did that for a while.
And he's very good at it.
Yeah, but because he does multiple voices,
Mm-hmm.
like he can do the Joker.
But he also came to a point where he appreciated Star Wars.
Yeah, that was a little weird one.
Eventually. He came to appreciate the role and all it gave him. But yeah, he did voiceover. That's how you get away from it.
Yeah, it doesn't pay as much, though, unfortunately.
No, but
if you can get away with it, it's great.
Mm-hmm. For some people, it pays great.
It does. Well, after a while, John DiMaggio's not hurting.
No, not at all. Yeah, you gotta grind.
But some of those guys like John DiMaggio and Tom Kenny and Billy West, they're like on every show.
Yes.
You can't miss them.
No, not at all.
Molly Ringwald was in some movie called Feud, and Catherine and Michael.
She was on that she was on that TV show
Riverdale for like 5 years.
Yeah, she was on Riverdale, but there was a show before that too.
Bad Things, Housebroken, Single Drunk Female.
She's been a mother figure in a lot of stuff recently.
She's Jeffrey Dahmer's mom in Dahmer.
Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, we didn't finish that.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't finish it.
After the grinding up of the bones and throwing them off the roof, I stopped watching.
Yeah, it was too much for me.
Ali Sheedy.
And I watch a lot of that detective stuff, and I could not watch Dahmer. It was too much.
Oddly enough, I wouldn't hesitate to say that Anthony Michael Hall has had the better career. Just because he's just in tons of stuff. Like, if you don't even pay attention, he's in The Dark Knight.
Well, he's one of those people that he doesn't really look like he did.
Yeah, no, not at all.
In those movies at all. Like, he is totally changed.
Well, yeah. Well, it's hard to stay the skinny little geeky kid
True.
that's the same age as everybody else that you're acting with.
Even through the face, like, his face doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
And I get it. When you're young, you kind of change. But for the most part, people's faces don't change that much. But his seem to. And I think that's why people kind of overlook him and they're like, oh, that's who that is.
So if you're not paying attention, like I said, Molly Ringwald was in Single Drunk Female, so was Ali Sheedy. And then she was actually in X-Men Apocalypse as a teacher for like a second. And then there's always shows like Psych. Ali Sheedy was on Psych. Emilio Estevez has been on Psych.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll bring him back.
Well, because Psych is all about like
nostalgia.
Some sort of pop culture nostalgia thing. Yeah.
That show is great. I love Psych.
I know, huh? I watched like every episode and I could still like just leave it on and fall asleep to it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like the episode is still pretty cool, so I don't fall asleep. And now all of a sudden it's 2:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really good show.
Now, why won't this let me look up Anthony Michael Hall?
Speaking of shows, did you see
what's
coming back?
No.
Severance.
You said that before. I like it.
But now there's a date. There's a date. January 17th.
January. Good
January.
Christ. Good Christ.
I know. Another 6 months.
Is it 6 months?
August, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, 6 months.
Okay.
Can't wait. They had a little trailer for it. Can't wait.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall, or I'm sorry, Andrew McCarthy is
Your ADD is showing today because you're all over the place.
I know. Well, because you're talking about these people, and we were discussing like what they have done since. Andrew McCarthy has directed and acted in an episode called the pilot of The Blacklist. That looks like that was the last thing that he did. But like I said, he was in Good Girls, and he directed that a lot. 13 Reasons Why.
Yes, that was yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him in that. I think he directed a few episodes of it too.
Yeah. White Collar, I think he directed that too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Royal Pains, I know he directed some of that.
Yeah, he's
Gossip Girl, yeah, he's actually directing on both coasts and everything.
Yeah, I just remember seeing his name in the credits for Orange is the New Black. I was like, holy crap.
I just remember Andrew McCarthy being the guy who I got my mail. His mailbox was like 3 mailboxes down from mine at a public mail place.
I would have waited by that mail. Was that the mail place that I went to with you one time?
No, it was up the Beverly Glen. It's a little tiny mail place. Adam Sandler used to get his mail there.
Did you get mail there on purpose because you knew that celebrities were going to go to there?
No, the only person that I knew that was up in that area all the time was Brian Wilson. Oh, and Paul Stanley. I saw him a lot there. But no, when I would go up there, if I could hang out for like an hour, I'd literally see Paul Stanley, Brian Wilson pretty regularly, Johnny Ramone until he passed away. I once saw Johnny Ramone there with Eddie Vedder. I saw Bruce Willis if I stayed there too long, but I didn't like to stay there that long. And Steve Perry.
They all went to the same mail place?
No, there was like that whole shopping plaza.
The Beverly Glen. Beverly, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a little grocery store there. I saw John Fogerty there once. I saw Stephen Stills there once. The guy that sings Bad to the Bone. I saw him a lot. And then there was these business offices behind it, and Warren Beatty's office was there, and I saw him and Paul Thomas Anderson together once. And I saw Fred Dryer a lot. And there was like a little dry cleaner in there, and they had all these people. They had those like everywhere you go has black and white photos that are signed by like every celebrity.
Yeah.
But all those people that I just mentioned, all their pictures were on their walls. So it's like, oh, here's a list of our regulars. But I understand like Adam Sandler like moved to Malibu, and I never saw him again. But I saw him twice there. There was paparazzi that like staked that place out because there was other people that came there like later in the afternoon. Oh, I saw what's her name. She was on Wings, and she was on Happy Days, and I can't remember her name. I think it was like Christine something.
Baranski?
No. See, now I'm going to be doing this again.
Too many people.
I know.
You could go to McDonald's and see someone out there.
That's true. As odd as that sounds.
I could never pick them out, but they were everywhere. Everywhere.
Even when you weren't looking.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yep. So
the girl was Joni's friend for a while. Like later on, I think she moved into the house.
You mean Joni from Happy Days?
Yeah, she was on Happy Days too. Same girl that was on Wings. She was the main character on Wings.
Oh.
I looked up Wings, and it's 160 or 1,167 hits. So.
It's gonna drive me crazy.
Isn't that how it always goes, though? Mm-hmm. You mention something, and you're like, I know who I'm talking about, but I don't know their name. Oh my goodness.
Hold on. I'm gonna get it. Crystal Bernard.
That's it. Not Christine. Crystal. Yeah, that's her.
Wow, that's a name from the past.
I know.
Shit. That was a good show, though, Wings. I liked it.
It was cute. I watched it at my parents' house. That dude almost won an Oscar, the dummy.
Oh.
The guy that fixed the planes.
Oh, yeah.
He almost won an Oscar for Sideways. Thomas Hayden Church. 3-name, guys.
Is that how it works? If you have 3 names, you're going to win?
No, you're going to come close.
You're going to come close, but no cigar.
Yeah. Anthony Michael Hall. Close. No. Anthony Michael Hall was on a show called The Dead Zone. That was on forever.
Yes. I remember that.
I remember working on The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken in Arizona, of all places. I think it was Dead Zone 2. Oh. It might have been Dead Zone 3. I can't remember. It was like Children of the Corn 4 being filmed in Arizona.
Ugh.
4.
Is there corn in Arizona?
Somewhere. There's cotton.
It's got to be irrigated.
Lots of cotton.
I've seen the cotton fields in Arizona.
Yeah. They used to be over by Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah,
now they're all gone. Yeah.
That place is out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, not anymore.
Well, no, they build around it. Yeah, when we went out there a few years ago, it was all built up.
Yeah. You could take surface streets all the way there. You just have to take the freeway.
When my shoes felt like they were melting off my feet.
Yes, nice. It was hot. That day that we left when it was 116 was woo-wee.
It might be a dry heat, but there is a point where you're like, man, it's really hot.
Like I've always told people, it feels like you're on a hair dryer, but the hair dryer is pointing up from your feet going into the air. The heat feels like it comes from the ground, not from the sun.
Yes.
Because everyone has rocks, lawns, and pavement everywhere.
We took walks at like 7 a.m.
Yeah, because at 7 p.m. it's still too hot. At 10 p.m., it's still 99 degrees outside.
It was. It's hot. I don't mind Arizona because the humidity is nothing, but it's also still hot.
But you can still wear shorts in the winter.
Yeah. Now, I remember going out there with you over Christmas, and we went to go see a movie, and it was chilly at night. It can get chilly.
Yeah, but it's just chilly. It's only chilly because you're not used to it.
No, it can.
If you're from there, you'll be like, oh, this is fun.
It is a desert. Deserts can get cold at night.
There's no desert left in Phoenix.
I refer to Phoenix as Columbus West because it's sprawling. It's like urban sprawl, like nobody's business.
I used to love, I used to hate flying over Phoenix, like coming into the airport. Mm-hmm. You just see like mountains and stuff like that. And then just this scar of houses.
Yeah.
And then still mountains and everything like that. But it just looks like someone just took a knife and went, and now that scar is become a crater.
Yeah, it's massive. A lot of urban sprawl.
Well, that's why area-wise, Phoenix is like one of the biggest cities in the country.
Yes.
Because they don't separate it like everyone else. Like, this is Columbus, and there's Dublin, and there's Hilliard, and so like, no, it's all just Phoenix.
It's all just Phoenix. Well, I mean, they have...
No, then you start getting out to like Ahwatukee. Yeah, but that's all outwards of Phoenix. But Phoenix keeps like expanding until you get to Cave Creek. But you can be in Phoenix all the way to Tempe. It wasn't until they started building new housing communities like Anthem, and then that became a town. And who names their town Anthem?
The people of Anthem.
That sounds like a drug. It doesn't sound like the name of a city. Just steal one from another city. I mean, there's Nowhere, Arizona. Why don't they just do that? Nowhere, somewhere, this thing, this town. That'd be great to be. I live in this town. I live in Nowhere. I live somewhere. I remember moving to California, and the first apartment that I had to myself was at 1234 North Edgemont, apartment number 111.
Your parents thought it was a lie?
Yeah, my dad's like, you're living in your car. I'm like, no, that's really a street. I'm not kidding.
It is.
And that's where I lived. And I lived in apartment 111. I know it sounds phony. I didn't even think of it until my dad said, you're full of shit. You live in your car. You're living in the back of your pickup truck. No, I'm serious. Have my own apartment.
No, it was real.
So now when you Google map it, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right down the street for where they filmed Lethal Weapon, where they blew up that gas station. It's right around the corner. The gas station's right around the corner. They blew up and made Roger quack like a chicken out in the road. Take his pants and shirt off and wah.
Right down the street from the Scientology building.
No, it's right around the corner from the Scientology building.
The big blue one.
Yeah, we were in the shadow of the blue building.
Mm-hmm. The big blue one.
Walked to the grocery store and then cut through the Scientology.
I used to cut through there when I get off the bus. When I get, not the bus, but the train.
Yeah, because the train stops right there.
Mm-hmm. They'd always be setting up for some thing there.
That's the best time to cut
They'd give me the side eye and I'd walk
past their campus.
Yeah, it is.
So to speak. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
It's a huge thing. Why do you have a Band-Aid on your shoulder?
That's where I had my shot the other day.
Mike, that was like 4 days
I've
ago.
taken like 5 showers since too.
No, gross.
That is gross.
Are you sure you showered?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell is this on my arm? It's a Band-Aid.
It was literally almost a week ago.
It was. Oh my gosh, that was Tuesday.
Ugh.
No, it was Wednesday. Still. But I've still taken several showers since. I'm just kidding. I don't shower
Must be a good Band-Aid, though.
I
Band-Aids
guess.
always fall off.
I know. It's not even frayed on the edges or nothing.
No, that's a strong Band-Aid.
That's what you get from the hospital. That's where I got my hep shot. No hepatitis for me. I sometimes get yellow when they only should be white.
And where was that from?
Oh, that's an Arizona commercial for hepatitis. Of all things, it was on children's shows with the song.
But what show was it on specifically?
Oh, it was on like the Wallace and Ladmo show. I saw it.
Yeah, your favorite.
Wallace
and Ladmo.
I used to see that commercial, even though it was on a WGN channel, we would still get local commercials, and I would see it on Bozo the Clown show too. Wash your hands after go. And they had like 6 little kids sing along. And
anybody who's from Arizona knows Wallace and Ladmo.
Well, of a certain age.
Gen X and up, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were still on the air when I was in high school and
right.
part of college.
Gen X and up.
I remember walking by Wallace's house over at ASU campus and just stand outside and wave at everybody. Have a nice day, kids.
Yeah. They love their Wallace and Ladmo out there. It's an institution of sorts. Indeed.
It's going to be forgotten.
Oh. What else are you up to this week? What's coming up? What are you excited for?
Nothing. Oh, the event that I missed that I screwed up the date on. Next weekend, but now because I actually decided to work at Michael's on the weekends, I can only go on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I like working at Michael's, though. That's kind of cute.
I like you working at Michael's, too.
Because I'm away for the weekend?
No, sometimes. But we get a discount there.
It's not much of a discount.
It's enough.
It is enough.
Because we don't go very often, unless it's like...
You will when your computer comes in and you start...
cricketing up?
You're not going to cricket anything, though. Look at all this stuff. Stuff's been here for years. This stuff has dust on it.
It does not. Stop eyeing my stuff.
I'm going to totally come in here just like a leaf blower and blow all the dust off of everything because it'll take less time than dusting. You can't really dust paper and vinyl.
It's fine.
Start throwing this shit out.
And when you start complaining, that's when I thank you for coming.
Well, you said you had a whole bunch of gripes today, and the only gripe was the Brat Pack thing.
I did have a gripe. It was a big gripe.
What does that say? So long who?
Oh, well... So long Genie Plus at Disney, because they just came out and announced that it's not the same system anymore when you go there, the big Genie Plus thing that everyone hates. It's honestly what they've done is gone back to fast passes, but now you pay for it.
Oh.
So what's funny is people have come out and said, oh, thank God they got rid of Genie Plus and they're doing this. Well, no. It's just they've gone back to fast pass and now you're paying for it instead of getting it free.
Yeah. Instead of signing up for it, like you could do like 3 every 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah. But now I'm getting the itch to go back.
Well, that's why
because we haven't been there in so long.
That's why we're thinking Paris.
Mickey Mouse in France.
With a little bonnet.
It's not a bonnet. It's a beret.
It's a hat.
I wonder if he carries a bag with a baguette sticking out.
Probably. You know, Chip and Dale with like a bag.
Oh my gosh, if they had a little mime outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Aww, super cute.
Oh, here comes the wind.
So yeah,
Let's not invite Jacques.
Now I got to get on that, I guess, to start looking at.
Yeah, because that's
Disney.
Going to be a couple days, hopefully.
Paris.
Paris.
Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. I hear they smoke like chimneys at Disney too.
Oh, Emma's gonna love that.
Yeah, it
stinks.
Everyone smokes.
It stinks here.
Mm-hmm. It's a different place.
It smells.
Where I want to go though is Tokyo Disney. That's supposedly the best Disney park in the world, and that's Florida, California, all of it. It's Tokyo Disney is where you have to go.
So Disney, again, we are running dangerously low on disposable income, and we're planning on going to your park in Paris.
They don't care.
Give us some money or free tickets to get in. We don't really care. We'll interview Michael Eisner or whoever you have working for you now.
Oh, it's not him.
Who is the guy? Some other dude that probably makes more money than he deserves.
Bob Iger.
Oh, Bob Iger. Oh, yeah, that guy's back.
He left and had to come back.
Please come back.
Please.
We're making mistakes left and right.
Oh, well.
Well, that's okay, because the other guy got like his golden parachute and his $1.2 billion it was free. And then they got a Bob Iger. Meanwhile, they'll still make an entire movie and then erase it from existence just to save tax money. But they'll pay out a golden parachute.
Like the Disney Vault.
Yeah.
You just take it out. Just take it away. Well, Mike, it's been a great day.
All right. Well, we might do another one of these today, but we're going to talk about something else.
Yeah, we got to wait until things bubble up. I've decided that most of our best conversations are in the car. When we're driving somewhere. So I got to figure out some way to do a podcast while driving without holding on to anything or committing any kind of distracted driving crimes. Usually we have some good conversations. I'm going to figure it out.
We could do it like this. Hello, hello.
No, you can't do that. You can't be holding it.
The driver can't.
No.
Bluetooth it. All
right. Well, I'm getting hungry for lunch, so we're going to cut this off. But thanks for joining me again today.
Again. You're welcome.
Again. And if you want to talk about your junk drawer, things that you're nostalgic for, just drop me an email at mybigfatjunkdrawer@gmail.com or visit me at mybigfatjunkdrawer.com. We'll see you next time.
And Disney or Hallmark, contact her there as well. Lego.
We'll see ya.
Give us some free stuff.
Bye.
Thank you.